All right, all right, all right. Buff Nation, good evening. We got some cool news pieces to talk about. Let me know who's watching, what your thoughts are. Appreciate the like and the comments, and the comments. I'll help spread this out to other Buffs fans. But some pretty interesting pieces of news to talk through. And before I get started, shout out to Yo Martez. Shout out my good friend Martez. SCO Buffs. Use that as the promo code for 10% off. And if you haven't seen my video with Rawhide earlier today, we went through preview the full Colorado schedule for 2024. I got the Buffs, at 9-3 right now. I've been called a hater for saying that. I've been called, a Kool-Aid drinker for that prediction. But yeah, I'm going with the Buffs in most of those toss-up games, right now. But curious to see what you guys think about the schedule and all of that. But thank you, Chanel. Yeah, going a little bit more casual today. Not to say I wasn't dressed up for part of the day. I'm one of those guys that got a client meeting, I throw on a different outfit, take it off immediately after for the most part. But hey, let's get into this. An in-home visit, you say. So often we've been talking about, is this staff, are they taking recruitment seriously? Man. I love it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. We'll dive into a little bit more about CJ Hurd and all this here in just a minute. But first off, I want to give a shout out to Keep It Buffs on Twitter. Keep It Real Buffs. Please go follow this account. They know everything. They're posting everything along with the rest of the Buffs Twitter community. But he's definitely one that's been doing this for quite a while. Really appreciating. He comes out and says, 2024 safety CJ Hurd is now down to Colorado and UCLA. Wonderful. Safety out of Atlanta, Georgia, 3-star rated guy. Okay. And here's what he writes, or here's what's written in the 24/7 article. Woodward Academy safety CJ Hurd tells 24/7 Sports he will announce his commitment on February 8th. And the senior added he's down to Colorado and UCLA. The Bruins will get an official visit this weekend, and Hurd says he'll take an unofficial visit to Boulder this week as well. Both programs are also making in-home visits this week. You'll love to see it. The 5'11", 194-pound Hurd highlighted what stands out about each program regarding Colorado. I play DB. Coach Prime is the best DB ever play. Why not get coached by the best player to ever play the position? They want me staying in contact and been showing lots of love. They also need a safety. That's right. Coach Prime is going to win now also. They have a lot of NFL experience also on their staff, so that's good. And maybe we might get some more with this DC hire that hopefully is coming this week, right? So shout out to Keep It Real Buffs for keeping all of us up to date, especially with this information. Now, as we get into CJ Hurd, 5'11", 193 pounds on here, 194 in the article, whatnot. Top 100 player in Georgia. And yeah, earlier in the year was crystal ball to Florida State, but now it's down to between UCLA and Colorado. And man, I feel like we must have a pretty good shot be in the top two, right? And hey, there's rumors that Chip Kelly might go to the NFL with an OC position. So hey, why not just come to Colorado, man? We're building something pretty exciting. An unofficial visit scheduled for February 1st. I believe that is Thursday, with the official visit for UCLA on Friday. And he'll make his decision. That must be a week from Thursday or something like that. Maybe next Thursday or Friday is February 8th. So not too far away. We will find out here very, very shortly. But hey, this is a player that I really like. Before we dive into his huddle tape, I'm going to read this here. Two-way player that was deployed primarily at SAF as a senior at safety, as a senior at Woodward Academy in the 10-game regular season, totaled 41 tackles, 6 pass breakups, and a forced fumble on defense, while also accounting for 141 yards of total offense per max preps. Picked off a pass in the playoffs against Houston County. As a junior, racked up 65 tackles, 4 for loss, 3 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, and a sack. His team went to the playoffs last year. So, hey, exciting stuff. I love it. Y'all know by now we only got 6 high school guys coming in here right now in our 2024 recruiting class. Some are already enrolled on campus. And hey, could CJ Hurd become that number 7? I mean, I would be thrilled. I would absolutely love it. Let's go ahead and throw some of this tape on here while I comment a bit on what I like about his game. Oh, guys, I'm so sorry. I wasn't even sharing my screen. It's just late in the day. Hey, Guru, what's going on, man? What's going on? What's going on? Guru gave us the heads up a while ago, so that was pretty cool. But man, this is a guy. He kind of reminds me of Jaden Milner-Jones tape a little bit. I like the attitude that he plays with, and I think he's got a good nose for the ball. I think he tackles really well. He's a guy that plays with good aggression, I think, and has some good coverage skills as well. Now, does he have look at that hit. Look at that hit. Isn't that wonderful? Isn't that wonderful? And then look at this. Look how he knocks this guy out of bounds. Watch this. See, I like that type of tenacity. I like that type of competitive nature. And I guess it was a touchback. Did he fumble out of bounds? Did he cause that? Anyways, beautiful. You're not seeing him give up on those plays. And then look at this hit. Bam. I mean, just clotheslined him, basically. But yeah, his tape kind of reminds me of what I was seeing from Jaden Milner-Jones. I mean, he's a guy that can play the run really well. You can bring him up into the box. Again, has some coverage skills. He doesn't have, I would say, elite speed as, you might see with some, higher rated safeties or DBs. But I think he can become a really good college football player. And I mean, give him a little bit of time to get acclimated, develop a little bit. I mean, look at that. Look at that. I want to go back and watch that one. I mean, look how he finds the right hole. He times that snap really well. Big tackle for loss. I love to see that. And I mean, our safety room, we're going to have Shiloh gone. We're going to have Cameron Silman Craig gone after this year, right? So, Preston Hodge, I can't remember if he's got multiple years of eligibility left, but you would think that Jaden Milner-Jones is going to be one of those safeties that's going to be starting for us here in 2025, kind of in line to do that. And then outside of that, I mean, who knows? I think Miles Slusher will be gone as well after this next year. So that would be cool. I've always been a proponent of seeing him or seeing Carter Stoutmeyer move to safety as well. I think that position might serve him a little bit better than boundary corner. So, but right now, in terms of if we're looking 2-3 years out, right now for our depth chart, we're looking a little light at the safety position compared to other positions such as, wide receiver. I mean, we got those layers that we've really talked about that we need to start developing. And CJ Hurd's a guy that could definitely add to that. And I like the way that he plays. Again, I like the attitude. You can see how that pops off on tape. Solid hitter, and we need guys that can tackle really well. We had so many missed tackles last year. I think this is a guy that can tackle really well and play the run really well. Again, that was an area of weakness for us this past year, and I like how you can kind of move him a little bit all over the place. I mean, you see him play slot, you see him play back in that free safety position, you see him play up in the box, as a run defending safety. You've seen him play a little bit of boundary corner as well. So I like his versatility that he adds. But I think one of his biggest strengths is his pursuit and finding the open field runner and bringing him down in space. I really like that. Got a great nose for the football. So hey, if you're in Atlanta, Georgia, I mean, why do you want to go 3 time zones over? I mean, Mountain West or the Mountain Time Zone, a little bit closer to home, not as tough to get to. And I mean, hey, we're going to be playing in the Big 12, so a lot of those games won't be too far away from Georgia. Like we're going to Orlando later this year, so I would love to see him commit here. This feels, this feels like it's the right fit. I think we got great momentum going with this. And look, I mean, taking some snaps at running back as well. I mean, that's cool. Again, 141 yards of total offense this past year. So that's wonderful. But hey, we got to win this recruiting battle with UCLA, man. That's the least. That's like the smallest way we can get back at them for, with them just kicking our butt this year. So with that being said, I'll let these highlights roll. This is a long highlight tape with CJ Hurd. So, but again, credit to the coaching staff. I was hoping that we would get a high school DB to commit in this 24 class. And hey, I mean, this would be awesome. This would be awesome. So that being said, I'll get to some of your comments. I'm choosing Buffs. Exactly, Zion. Exactly. Man, I'm trying to be dapper. I don't have as much style as everybody else does on here, but I do my thing. Omar White in the summer. Man, that would be great if we can get Omar White. We need some more beef up front, baby. That's what I'm talking about. Exactly. Pog LLC. As a safety, won't even be a decision. But you never know. Hey, he might just like LA. I mean, that's hard to argue. I like LA a lot too. But man, I think that there's a lot to be excited about coming to a program like this. Facts. Jermaine Young, what's going on? Oh, and Zion, thank you for this context. CJ Hurd's team won the championship this past year. Wow. So state champion. And I like that we're bringing in guys that have had major success. And they've been a part of winning programs. Absolutely. That's why, man, I hope we bring in some Michigan players, man. Let's bring in some Michigan players because they can help, lead to or help integrate that standard, that championship standard, that we're trying to grow here. What's up, Tremaine? Hey, man, Guru knows. Guru knows. Guru's the man. Hodge is in his last year. Thank you for that. Thank you. Let's see what else we got here. But Zion seems to think that Chip Kelly's dipping into the pros. And if I'm Chip Kelly, why not? Why not? Especially if they're going to pay me more. Chanel all day. Dave, 2 years ago, did you ever dream these caliber of players even were even considering CU? No. Absolutely not. Again, I just had a moment last week where, again, guys, you just got to appreciate, like, it is so crazy that Deion Sanders is the head coach of this team. It is still so crazy. And hey, we got a lot of opinions on, the day-to-day and the games and the game management, the recruiting, the style, the offensive philosophy, what's in the media, all the controversy, all that. Don't lose sight of just how crazy, one of kind, unique this time is, man. Just appreciate it. The fact that we can get excited about Colorado football every day. I mean, isn't that awesome? I haven't felt that way about my Denver Broncos in a really long time. Yeah, I don't know who John Lester is. I thought he was a pitcher for the Cubs. But hey, Julian Lewis comes here, man. Ooh, would I absolutely love that. And I think Julian Lewis, isn't he another tall quarterback? No, I love it. There's a Michigan DT who's from Colorado, from Aurora. Yeah, just hit the portal earlier today. 6'5", 315. Yes. Let me look up his name really quick because I saw him earlier. Sorry, guys. Give me 1 second. But yeah, like, what do you guys think of this CJ Hurd tape? Am I right on the money there with you kind of feeling like he's a similar type of player to Jaden Milner Jones? And I really like Jaden Milner Jones. Dude, I can't find this guy. Oh, is it Reese Atterbury? Yes, Reese Atterbury. 6'5", 315, senior, went to Eagle Crest High School. Man, I would absolutely love that. I would love that. We need some more beef up front. Why not bring in some beef from, the best defense in college football? And I think you're right, Zion. CJ Hurd is a decent safety who will get more polished in Coach Prime's with Coach Prime staff. Yes, yes. That's how I felt about Jaden Milner Jones as well. Not everybody who's going to come in here is just going to play as a freshman. No, 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 no. Even the really, really, really good college football teams, they might bring in stud freshmen, but then you got some studs that have already been there and developed for a couple of years that are playing ahead of them. So, yeah, you should probably see CJ Hurd as like one of those like developmental guys that maybe can get on the field and play a little bit his freshman year, but ultimately, this is a play where you need him to step up in a year or two, down the line. So, man, this is phenomenal stuff. Let's make it official, right? Let's make this thing official. And again, I think the thing that I love about him the most is the way in which he plays. He's got an attitude and a swagger, to his game that I really like. I agree with you. I have high expectations for Jaden Milner Jones. I think that he could be, that safety right next to Shiloh and Cameron Simon Craig. I think you'll see him play quite a bit this year. And honestly, depending on what types of looks we're getting, I wouldn't mind seeing him come down and play linebacker at some points. If the linebacker room is going to stay the way that it is, I wouldn't mind seeing that. Again, I think he's got a really good nose for the football. We'll just have to see. Yeah, not everybody is a 5-star or anything like that, but plenty of 3-star guys develop into being big-time impact players at the FBS level. And man, I would be thrilled to have him here. Dave, the outlook on CU is changing. Landing the recruits will come. Yes. And again, like, you look at the progress that we've made this year on continuing to add more and more talent. I love it. There's a lot to be excited about, not only for this coming year, but now we're starting to develop that pipeline for 25. I mean, I talked a little bit about it with the wide receiver group here in 2025. I mean, if you're looking at it right now, I think we have a very interesting core, of Omarion Miller, Baby T.O. We got Cam McKell, Draylon Miller. Feel like I'm missing one of those guys, but that's a really solid 4. I think LeJante Wester will be gone. But again, it's a very solid 4. And in the secondary, you got guys that are going to play substantial roles for the team here in a couple of years, such as DJ McKinney, Cormani McLean, Jaden Milner Jones. Again, I'm a fan of Carter Stoutmeyer. Some of y'all don't like that, but I think Carter Stoutmeyer had a good freshman year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him move to safety. We also got guys like Adam Hopkins. Some of you guys are excited about Israel Solomon. I really haven't seen much of him, but Yeah, I think that this is going to be really interesting to see where some of these guys develop here in another year or two, or even at inside linebacker. I mean, there are some really talented guys that just need to be developed. I think Morgan Pearson and Victory Johnson both have some really good, like natural ability tools, um, but they got to put it together. College. The college level is definitely a jump, and it's very rare you see a freshman make that jump and play a big time immediate impact first thing as 18-year-olds. So I mean, really, it's up to them, what type of work they're going to put in. And of course, up to our coaching staff to make sure that these guys are prepared and they're developing. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for this, Zion. Yeah, Wester's in his final year. And yes, Coach Rispus, and credit to them and the rest of the recruiting staff. Corey Phillips, they're going after the real dogs in the 25 class. Man, I can't wait to see how that all comes together. Again, I need to do a video on Julian Lewis since he was here for a visit this past week. And I mean, USC commit. So if we could get him away from USC, I mean, that would just be an absolutely massive get. Absolutely. It can be done, but it's pretty difficult recruiting against Big Ten schools and SEC or Big Ten and SEC conferences in their schools. Yes, yes, and we have won some of these recruiting battles, which is great. But this is again, we should not take these wins. The fact that we can get a Jordan Seaton out here or a Will Shepard to transfer out here, guy like DJ or BJ Green, right? Samuel Okunlola, a lot of these guys. Let's not take this for granted. We're winning substantial recruiting battles at the high school ranks and in the transfer portal. Not going to win them all. Not going to win them all. There's 133 FBS schools, right? Something like that. But we're winning so many more than, I mean, like Chanel they brought up. I mean, we're winning so many more of these, or even in the conversation for these where, we weren't like when I was on campus. Good question, Eric. David, how much of a recruiting boost did Colorado going to the Big 12 help get the talent to come in? I think it helps. I think it helps. The Big 12 is a respected conference, and I think they've done a good job of repairing their image after it's kind of been on the brink for a little while. And credit to Brett Yormark. I think they got some exciting things going on. Of course, you can sell recruits on, hey, we're going to be playing closer to your home, all of that. We're going to have better time slots, right? I love West Coast football. I do, but it is the pack was just, it was not managed well, and it was not led well. And yeah, it can only help improve things. But the biggest thing that's going to help this program is continuing to win more games every year. So we went from 1 to 4. Now we got to go from 4 to wherever. I think the expectation really, we're talking about, hey, what does Coach Prime get an A for? We got to get 7 games. We got to get 7 wins. Everything that or above is an A and gravy on top. Now, again, I did my prediction. I got 9-3 or whatever, but at the end of the day, we got to continue to make a substantial jump. If we can double our wins from 2024 or from 2023 to 2024 to 8, I mean, that would just be freaking amazing, guys. Then a lot of the doubts and a lot of the slander or the negative talking points about this program, I mean, go away when you continue to see them turn the corner, which I think we are going to make a jump this year. I love CC. Good to see you. Hope you're having a great evening. All right. Prime has something which is a plus, exposure and access to the NFL and its players. Yes. And man, guys, I'm looking very forward to who we name as this DC, right? I mean, we've been waiting patiently. I'm ready to get excited. I'm ready to get pumped. Let's see it. And yeah, Cormani, some people were saying this in the chat earlier. Man, the dude's looking ripped. I mean, the guy is not only getting recognized for the work he's putting in the classroom. How about that? How about that? Sometimes it just takes guys some time. Imagine that, just like it does for you and me. Starting a new job or moving to a new place or trying something new or going to a new level with something. Imagine that. After 6 months, he's really starting to make some strides. People panicking all the time. True freshmen, especially that join in August. I mean, they got a lot to learn and adjust to quickly. And it's not always, growth isn't always linear, y'all. Growth isn't always linear. I'm proud of Cormani too. Dude's looking ripped. Dude's killing it in the classroom. Happy for him. Happy for him. He's shutting up all the naysayers. Absolutely. Man, Nicole Carter, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. That's very generous of you and always great to hear from you. Thanks for the great information and breakdowns. Absolutely. If we have a winning season, can you see a big time quarterback transfer for 2025? Now that would be very exciting. Yes, 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 yes. I think as long as Coach Prime is here, Colorado needs to be targeting the best available quarterback. And whether they're a freshman, incoming guy from high school, or transfer, like, hey, if we could land a guy like that's of the talent like Caleb Williams, hopping in the portal, those types of things, I don't feel like we um, should ever kind of keep our hands closed. Let's always approach this with open hands. What are the best guys we can get at every position? But hey, if a guy like Julian Lewis is coming in here, he very well could be ready much sooner than most, incoming high school quarterbacks. But I think the more that we win, the more you're going to see top tier talent start to flock here in the transfer portal. No doubt. No doubt. But I could definitely see a big time quarterback come in here in 2025 if we put together a winning record. No doubt. Thank you for that. I'll take a few more questions, y'all. Chanel Day says, David, besties in my head. I have a little dark side in me too, and I'm still holding hope to meet Dan in the playoffs. Man, wouldn't that be so great to go up against, Dan Lanning and his big time punchable good old boy face in the playoffs? And what? No. In the playoffs, and man, I would absolutely love that. I don't know if we're going to reach the playoffs this year. I mean, I know that that's the goal of the team, and they should be shooting for that. But I'm going to measure success by David Tuck's buff standards. It's probably not as high as the standard they have in the building. That's totally fine. That's probably the way it should be, right? But yeah, I feel like 9 wins is very reachable. Tremaine Young got 10-2, 9-3. I love it. Zion's got 8-4. I love it. I absolutely, I absolutely love it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I just want to see improvement. Again, guys, if you're around here, Nuggets fans, we saw that this thing was like a 7-year build before it hit its stride. We are patient. Maybe not that patient when it comes to football, because I mean, with the Denver Broncos, you've seen that. But for me, I understand that this stuff is a process. And while there can be huge leaps, that's not always the case. And so as long as we continue to show that growth, I'm going to be happy. Danny Boy better be ready for the Big Ten with Dylan Gabriel. Man, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but I think Dylan Gabriel is going to kill it at Oregon. Coach 8 with all the players this season. I'm ready to beat the brakes off folks to winning us a natty. Man, oh man. Hey, well, regardless of how you guys feel, and regardless of how I feel, man, I'm still putting money on that national championship. I mean, regardless. I mean, how can you not? $100 for a $30,000 potential payoff? I mean, it's a down payment, man, on like a house, right? David, if we don't make the college football playoff, would it be a fail? Absolutely not. No. Like I said, let's continue to show growth. Continue to show growth and improvement. I think, if we go 6-6, that's still an improvement. I want to call it a failure, but I would say it doesn't reach expectations. I think it's rightful for us to expect a winning season this year, substantially. To have that, say, guys, 7 wins plus, like, let's do this thing. And yeah, so that's kind of how I feel about it. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. I appreciate your time on tuning in. Again, please hit the like on the way out, and if you're watching the replay, please let me know your thoughts on CJ Hurd, the in-home visits, the recruiting, all of that. But I'll answer this, I guess, before I go. Lamar, what happened to Carl Lewis? I don't know. I know that he decommitted, and I think that was expected for a little while. We got a lot of better wide receivers. It's just kind of how I feel about it. So, yeah, I'm not sure where he ended up. But anyways, guys, I will see you guys tomorrow. And as always, go Buffs.